Ah, shit. Here we go. The rising smoke filled the blue autumn sky. Icy rushed as fast as he could towards what was only a small spout and now engulfed his small abode that was once the fresh air. It couldn't be his house. It just couldn't. Did he leave the stove on? No, that's impossible. Surely it was just a chemical plant in the same general direction. Or a KKK rally. Honestly, anything. He paced his running faster, feeling a sharp cramp in his lower rib. He tripped on a curbstone and fell into the pedestrian lot. He wiped the blood from his brow with his sleeve, picking himself up and carrying on with the trail. As if a pause and play button, the thoughts raced through his mind once again. It couldn't be his house. It just couldn't. He leapt down the path, pulling up to his neighborhood. There it stood before him, the smoldering crater that he once called home. Nothing but a fountain and part of a floor remained. Fuck it. He ran into the flames, his flesh searing. The heat ate him up like a starving animal. He placed his foot on the stairs, laces melting. His laces melting. It was definitely not sturdy. He tried to be careful yet quick, taking each step with grave caution. When he got to the top stair, he broke through. His hoodie strings caught on a lump of nails and sheetrock, tightening with his body weight. He struggled, arms flailing. There was nothing he could do. He was hanging, watching his own house burn down. His eyes shot red, with his veins begging for oxygenated blood. This is it, he thought. He looked through his door. He looked to see the door, opening it invitingly if he could only get down. From some reason not known to man, a sort of fog appeared to counteract the smoke. God damn it, Ox, you can't spell for fucking shit. He peered over majestically. Was this God? A neck-bearded man walked in, unaffected by the flames, walked calmly over to Icy. His eyes had a lonesome shine, and his face locked with years of no expression. Mitch? He choked out. He picked up Icy. The hoodie strings came unhooked from the death trap, and Icy noticed Mitch slowly floating from the ground. He carried him all the way up to the top floor before dropping him and floating into the gray skies. He panted. The blood flew to his brain again. He dropped to his ass, feeling lightheaded and disoriented. He stumbled into the room to find his laptop, on with Skype when the Skype call opened. He ran to it, barely looking at it as he ran out of the house. He sat on the sidewalk and peered to the webcam. Icy! A familiar voice, only wielded by Oxy, said. Oh shit, dude. Fucking Ryan burned your house down, man. Icy grinned. Good riddance. Becky's a cunt. Can always stay at my uncle's and eat pizza in the laundromat. Yeah, well. Oxy looked down, a tear sliding down his face. A catch in his voice rises, and he looks at the camera. Before he left, he wiped a tear away and blew his nose. He peered into the camera like a caged animal. Fuck you, bitch. He dropped the laptop, cracking the screen and causing the lithium to pour from the cracks. Plus! He screamed from the top of his lungs. Icy, he replied, calmly, after hearing Icy's body hit the ground. Icy, speak to me. He rolled around on the concrete, laughing maniacally and staring upward. Icy, please! His laugh was a traumatized Jewish child in the attic, bound only by their will against conformity. Everything he had ever bottled up came out inside him in that laugh. He picked up the curbstone and walked into the nearest house. Inside the building was a woman breastfeeding a baby. She was so startled by the bloody beaten beater that she dropped the baby and not even hesitating to scream. Icy stepped on the baby's head, watching it in its infantile brains liquefy and flow through the decorative cracks in the tiles. The woman, screaming and crying, turned into begs for him to just kill her now. Icy was in an even playing field with someone who had also had everything taken from him. Icy picked up the baby's carcass, he totally misspelled carcass faggot, and ripped out its spinal cord, whipping it forward like a new sword. "On guard, fetus!" he mocked as the woman held her breath. He pressed the sharp, undeveloped bones against the woman's neck and sliced along the utero marking that were bound on her neck. Her screaming and crying bellowed from the new hole on her neck. Icy dropped the utero. Icy dropped everything where it was and rooted through every drawer. Inside it was a glass smoking pipe and a little less than an eighth of marijuana. He put the marijuana in the big part of the pipe. I guess that's where it goes, he figured. He held a delicate flame under the pipe as if it were crack. He stepped into the patio. Still nothing. He lit the marijuana on fire as he drew it from the pipe. Plastic edges of cheap lighter caught onto the fire, and he tossed it inside. The resulting plastic fell behind the glass stove and propped itself against the propane tank. The label on the side, incinerated. Flames grew all the way up the tank and onto the tag. The flame, gentle as fabric, melted the house, causing the stove to blow out from the wall and the propane tank to spin around, hissing fire and gas everywhere. He broke into the shed, finding commercial standard self-defense shotgun. He felt his fingers across the engraved letters, SPAS 12. His beautiful rifle, one policeman might carry, was closest he felt to legacy. The house before him exploded into crisp blue flames. He held the weapon, letting out a fierce scream. "Fuck you, Ryan!" He wrapped himself with straps of shells, becoming more and more aroused with more and more ammunition. He needed a vehicle and a GPS, and he knew that Domino's had both. Oh boy. He knew that Domino's had both of those things on hand. He quickly made a stop at the abortion room to get a coat hanger and made his way to the pizzeria. In just this short journey, news had already been made note that of the incident, and the traffic cop labeled Fox News. Plain as day could be seen in the pink setting sky. "What does the fox say?" he screamed, firing the gun into the air. From some freak of nature, the buckshot strayed from the altitude and hit the chopper right in the gas tank. Bits of helicopter rained down on the town that he now owned. "Who's the sheriff now?" he muttered sadistically. Upon his arrival at Domino's, he sat on the alley to once again light the marijuana pipe. The bowl was already pooched to ash, and whatever that Florida shit was laced with. A pizza boy walked past the alley, and Icy pulled him with the coat hanger. He choked him and beat him, and fucked his wounds and shit on his face. He took his clothes and entered the store. "Paco!" the man at the front asked, ignoring the blood and shotgun and Icy's dick tickler mustache. Get these pizzas to the Ploss residence immediately. You're late." Icy grinned so hard his cheekbones uttered a foul crack. He picked up the pizzas and went into the car. Ploss was already programmed into the GPS. He had opened that waifu stealing faggot's pizza and picked up a slice, but dropped it. He reached over to pick it up, and he crashed into the Home Depot. An industrial-sized bucket of rubber cement spilled into the sunroof and went all over the pizzas. Icy looked at the soggy pizzas that now smelled like paint thinner and shit. Well, maybe I could force him to eat it, he thought out loud, as an Asian man yelled at him for literally destroying his place of business. Icy took off. The GPS led him to the Ploss household. He kicked down the door, shotgun around his chest, pizza box in his arms. He went up to Ryan's room where he was choking himself with a rope belt while masturbating. Icy picked him up by the neck and strangled him. Ryan continued to faff. Icy threw him at the wall. You! You! Icy couldn't even think of words to say, so he span the pizza around in anger. The now solidified pizza ricocheted around the room before slitting Ryan's throat. The rather aggressive pizza stayed in the corner, blocking Ryan from doing anything but choke on the blood that his lungs were filled with. Suddenly, the erotic sound of a wheelchair wheels could be heard clacking against the laminate. I might not be good at Half-Life 2, but I'm pretty good at, Icy thought for a moment, raping your mom. Ryan tried to scream, but his lungs were overflowing with blood and tears. Icy's dick was out.